Hey everyone, welcome back to the live where we do weekly live streams about game news, reactions, and just whatever y'all want to talk about. Really, I hope you guys this day is going great. Um, and yeah, what are you guys playing this weekend? I just finished Black Ops 6, Zombies Map Terminus last night, the directed mode. But it was still no joke, to be honest. I was playing with like three other people and it took us a while to even finish it. So, yeah. I still haven't finished the campaign yet though, but I'm almost there. I've been busy. The only thing I don't like about Black Ops 6 right now though is like it's so buggy. Like sometimes I play on split screen and it is so buggy, especially if you're split screen, and it's just so annoying. And it's like if you're paying $70 for a game, like just for it to come out broken, that's so annoying. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for me as far as my week. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. The first thing that we have on our list though today is the PlayStation Portal now does not need a PS5 to play the game. They just came out with this update, like I think it was like early last week or so. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's talk about this. This is pretty big news. So yeah. So the PlayStation Portal remote player experience evolved with a new system update. Just over a year ago, we launched our first dedicated remote play device, which you guys have to let me know, like, how do you even like remote play? Because that's a whole nother discussion. But PlayStation Portal remote player with an aspiration to deliver a console quality gaming experience on a handheld device. The PlayStation Portal was an ambitious product for us, and we have been delighted by positive response from our fans to see that our vision has resonated with the community, which that's a mixed bag, so I don't know. Today we are pleased to announce a new system software update for PlayStation Portal that will begin release starting later today. Europe release begins Wednesday, which is last week, like I said, which will introduce refinements in the audio experience, including speaker audio output adjustments to make the volume lower when the audio levels is set to a minimum. You will now be able to adjust settings for your PlayStation Link device from the PS Portal settings menu, allowing you to optimize the volume and side tone volume. Which I'm not really sure how much people really cared about the volume. I don't think that was the biggest thing, but I mean, it's good to update it, I guess. This update will also include the beta version of a new feature that many fans have been asking for: support for cloud streaming on the PS Portal. When the update is live, PlayStation Plus Premium members will be able to participate in the beta for cloud streaming on PS Portal, allowing select PS5 games in the PlayStation Plus game catalog to be streamed directly from our servers, even without a PlayStation 5 console. Since streaming cloud beta is on PS Portal, it's still experimental, offering features available during the beta period may change over time and may not reflect on the final experience. So, I know a few people that have got to test this out, and I mean, I guess it's going okay, you know. But a features available during the beta is that you can stream select PS5 games in the PlayStation Plus games catalog. There's over 120 PS5 games from the PS5 Plus games catalog, including Dave the Diver, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Monster Hunter Rise, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which will be available on PS5, on PS Portal, via cloud streaming. Streaming set up to 1080, 60 frames per second. Okay, yeah, that's kind of standard. DualSense wireless controller features, including haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, speakers, touchpad, and a motion sensor, which that's actually one thing that I do find really cool about the PlayStation Portal is that you can, still experience like all the DualSense features. Like, I do think that's really cool that they added that in there, because that's actually the one difference from the Backbone that I rant and rave about, because the Backbone is like a really cool system, but it's like half the price. And we're gonna actually talk about that a little later in the stream. But yeah, and then the last couple ones they have is the PlayStation Plus cloud storage. Save data and game progress can be stored up to 100 gigabytes and will be automatically synced with your PS5 console, making it easy to switch seamlessly between local and streaming gameplay and between multiple devices. Cloud streaming beta for PlayStation Portal will also be available through the PlayStation Plus premium plan, which is offered in all these locations that you can see up here. So you are gonna have to do like some work to be able to access this. So it tells you right here, to access the beta, you need the following: PlayStation Portal Remote Player, an account for PlayStation Network, an active PlayStation Plus membership, access to broadband internet and Wi-Fi. Established cloud streaming requires minimum of 5 megabits per second of upload and download speeds, which, yeah, I guess that was like one of the bigger problems too with the PlayStation Portal. To stream at 720p, you require 7 megabits per second, and to stream up to 1080, you require 13. Once the beta is available, you can access the beta by updating your PS Portal to the latest software and completing these following steps. Open quick menu and access settings on your PS Portal. Select cloud streaming beta button. Switch to the cloud streaming beta. Toggle on, and this will be on by default or off by default. And then after you enable the cloud streaming beta in the settings, you should see a new option on the home screen of your PlayStation Portal that allows you to access games via cloud streaming. The beta option can be turned off anytime, and your home screen will revert back to the standard version once the option is turned off. And then there are some stuff that's like not going to be featured in this thing. So this is actually kind of a big one. As we are in the beginning stages of publicly testing cloud streaming on the PlayStation Portal, some features will not be available, such as game trials, streaming games purchased on the PlayStation Store, system features such as party voice chat and game invites for select games, the create button, 3D audio, and in-game commerce. Additionally, the games playable on PlayStation Portal are limited to only PS5 games, and PS4 games and PS3 games are not supported. And then they just say, we're always listening to your feedback, and we're looking forward to seeing many players participate in the beta. So, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, I do think it makes the PlayStation Portal, like, a little more, like, better. A little better. I don't know. It would be pretty cool if you could also, like, join parties while playing the PlayStation Portal, but I know it's hard because it is streaming. Unless you have, like, crazy fast internet. But I know, like, streaming games alone can already, like, be a big challenge in itself. And yeah, it does suck too that, like, they're not at least allowing PS4 games. Like, I don't know, to be honest, like, I'm the first to admit that, like, I don't really think the PS5 has, like, the best games. I think PS4, hi Solomon, I think the PS4, has some of the best games to me, along with the PS2, but that's pushing it a little too far. Like, I kind of just, at least give us the PS4 games. I'm wondering, like, how it makes a difference. But I guess it's still, like, a step forward, and hopefully this means that they will, like, continue to add for it, or add to it. Hi, Mast. But, yeah. But it is cool, though, that they can, like, just send out, like, these updates, and we don't have to, like, go back and go buy, like, a whole new console and stuff like that. Like, they can just send it out, and it's for free, too. I mean, it is the beta, so I'm curious to see, like, how it ends up, coming out. To be honest, I wasn't, like, the biggest fan of the PlayStation Portal, but this makes me a little bit more of a fan if they could continue to, push on to this and hopefully just continue to make it better and better as time goes on. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know what you think about that. But But on to our next kind of big story. I would say this is fairly big, but PlayStation is actually looking to buy out the developers of Elden Ring. So, Sony is reportedly in talks to buy Katakoa, whose subsidiary from Software is behind smash hits Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and Armored Core games, and PlayStation exclusive Bloodborne. Reuters report that Sony is looking to add to its entertainment portfolio. Katakoa's business extends into areas that fit into Sony's broader entertainment offering, which includes anime, manga, TV, and film. Katakoa is a prolific publisher of anime, and Sony already owns anime streaming Crunchyroll and Funimation. As well as from Software, Katakoa owns stuff like Chungsoft, Octopath Traveler, developer Acquire, and RPG maker Pixel Game Maker, developer Gotcha Games. Talks between Sony and Katakoa are reportedly ongoing. If the talks are successful, Reuters say a deal could be signed in the coming weeks. Sony and Katakoa declined to comment when asked by Reuters. So when I tell you guys something, I was so surprised like reading this for the first time and seeing that Sony owned Crunchyroll. If you know me, I kind of have gotten into I'm kind of a big like anime fan at this point. Like I've been watching more and more anime as the year like has gone on. So I was really surprised to see that Sony has Crunchyroll and Funimation. But yeah, you learn something new every day. I have one, and to be honest, I barely use it, but yeah. Sony's gonna butcher Katakoa. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. But we'll have to see. I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like Crunchyroll too has been going downhill even from when I started using it, and that was like earlier this year. I know they removed like comments and stuff because they had like a one like really controversial like anime, and then they removed the comments. But I don't know. All we can do is cross our fingers. But yeah, and then they say the market conditions for those acquisitions has changed dramatically over the last 2 years, but Sony will always be looking for opportunities that can fuel its growth and bolster its IP portfolio, and that represents value. There may also be a defense element for this move. From Software is an important partner for Sony's gaming business, and it will not want a competitor taking over control of Katakoa and potentially disrupting that relationship. It helps that Katakoa is also active in areas which are a strong fit with Sony's wider business. For Sony, it's a gaming business, has already suffered significant layoffs this year and the closure of multiple studios, including Concord's developer Firewalk, which we kind of talked about, it was either last week or the week before. They closed in February, and it announced a round of layoffs affecting 900 staffs, or about 8% of its global PlayStation workforce. The layoffs impacted a number of PlayStation studios, including Insomniac, Naughty Dog, Guerrilla, and Fire Spirit. But PlayStation's London studio was hit the hardest with the notice of closure. Since then, Sony-owned Bungie has also suffered devastating cuts as Destiny 2 struggles to find commercial success. Yeah, so it's a lot happening with this new, Inquisition, I guess you could say, with Sony trying to buy this company. And it's kind of sad, too, because, the gaming industry is already going through a lot of layoffs. So it kind of makes me wonder why are they taking on more if they're already kind of in a bad space in general. But Katakoa does do other stuff like a bunch of other media stuff like manga, magazines, and those are really big in Japan. That's where they're based off of. And I guess Sony just, wants a piece of that. And they also want to appear to a wider audience in Japan. I mean, Sony's kind of all over the world anyway, but I think they want to appear more appeal more to Japan. Um, and it's crazy that this could be happening within the next couple of weeks. But Katakoa is a really massive company. They have like 5,200 workers. So Sony will definitely be taking on a lot. And I think Sony already actually like owns some stock for Katakoa. So I don't know. I mean, it would help them on the gaming side of things for sure. Um, I don't know. I think it'd be good for like PlayStation's business, but I'm not sure how good if it would be for like us consumers, because like when all the like big companies start just like buying up all of these smaller companies, like I feel like the creativity is just going to be gone. I think it's good to have, you know, a bunch of companies doing their own thing, and then every game's not going to have to look alike, and stuff like that. So it's just, I don't know. I'd like to know what you guys think. But yeah, Sony's a huge company, and they're just taking over more because they do stuff like TVs, cameras, and they also do film and TV, like movies and stuff like that. And I just found out too, which is crazy, that they also do life insurance, which is random. But I guess that counts for like 12 to 20% of their annual revenue. So also AI is taking over. Yeah. I'm actually going to talk a little about that later, like in a little bit, because a lot of these companies, what they're doing to remake or remaster like older games is they use like AI upscaling, so it comes out like crazy looking. Yeah, but apparently they're willing to pay like $3 billion for Katakoa. So we are gonna have to see how that turns out, because I don't know, it doesn't seem like they're going like in a great spot right now. It seems like gaming has just been kind of stagnant lately, but I don't know. I'm curious to see how it turns out and what you guys think. But the holidays are coming up, so I kind of wanted to discuss Black Friday deals, because why not? You know, and just like games that I found that were pretty good deals, and games that like I liked in gaming stuff. Hi, Johnny. But yeah, so the first thing that I have, let me go back to my screen. So Elden Ring is $20 for all of those who didn't want to pay the regular amount of money. I think 1993 with a random number. I think that's a pretty good deal. I tried Elden Ring. I know people are going to hate me for this, but I didn't really care for it. But I do have it. I did play it. It's okay if you're into Souls games and stuff like that. The next thing I have is this, why am I blanking on the name? This SD storage. I look crazy. Why am I looking on? But I do have this one. I have this one for my PS5. I don't have this specific one, but it is actually like a really good like storage device. And $99 for a terabyte isn't a bad deal. Thank you, Johnny. Hope you like it and stick around. I try and keep it good vibes all around. But yeah, so really good storage device. I use it for my PlayStation. Really good. And I'll try and link these down below too at the end. Alan Wake 2, great horror game. I can't recommend it enough. Love the first one. $50 for it. It's not bad. Like $20-$30 off the deluxe edition. Highly recommend this game. That I have on my list are these Corsair wireless headsets. I have these. You guys can't see it, but they are in the back. I've had them for a while. They're really good. They're really comfortable. Noise canceling. So yeah, I really like these, and I highly recommend them. But what are you guys doing for the holidays? I hope you guys are doing something fun, at least. You know, eat some good food. Let me know if you guys go Black Friday shopping. I know everything is like online nowadays, which I feel some type of way about, but I don't know. But yeah, so the last thing that I actually wanted to go over, and this is kind of something that I touched on earlier. So I wanted to talk about the GTA Definitive Edition. And if you know me, I've had like such beef with this game because I was so hyped for it to come out because I love what's it called? GTA San Andreas. What was it? GTA 3? And then I think it was GTA Vice City that came out in the Definitive Edition. And they were hyping this thing up, right? And it just came out to be just like such a terrible game. It was so bad. And like, I think it was like buggy. The characters look crazy. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with how the characters, like they were AI upscaled from the original game. So they just came out looking like blocks. But apparently, they just released an update, and I kind of wanted to like watch a video going over it with you guys because I just have beef with this game. They just ruined like such a nostalgia thing for me. I did buy it and was disappointed. I never finished it. But yeah, so.
And we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. Today, we're taking a quick look at the GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. Again, they updated it. November 12th, they released a huge patch for this that updated the game. It's been 2 years since the console.
And that's how you know it's bad. Because why are they... well, I'm not going to say why are they still releasing updates 2 years later, but the fact that they need to still release updates 2 years later is what's getting me. Like, it's so bad. I picked up Alan Wake 2 Deluxe, Undershift College Football, got them nice. Oh yeah, good finds. Good finds. See, I'm the type of person, like, I like to go out for Black Friday, so I try and wait because it's gonna be deals like up until like I think like Monday, because then there's like that Cyber Monday. So anything I don't find on Black Friday, I wait till Cyber Monday because it's just like a tradition for me. But yeah, so yeah, 2 years. The fact that it still needs updates is like crazy.
And PC versions of the game have seen any kind of like big improvement, and now out of nowhere they're just dropping this in our laps. So currently the patch has been released for all the major consoles: PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, PS4, Xbox One, everything. I'm playing it on PS5, that's where you see the gameplay footage here, but for the most part all the ports are seeing the majority of these improvements. You're not suddenly getting 60 frames per second on the Switch or anything after this, but the majority of the fixes we're describing should apply to most of it. Now, why is this a big deal, you may ask? Well, if you don't remember, when this thing originally came out 3 years ago, it was a mess. And going back through the game now, looking at all the things they improved is mostly just reminding us of all the things they got wrong the first time, which is upsetting. If you remember our first videos on this, I remember saying on the record that the game just did not get the love that like they so absolutely deserve.
Another thing about this game, I think they pushed it off to another company to make. So it wasn't even like Rockstar who like worked on this like revival of the game. It was another company. So it almost came off as like a money grab. Yeah. So it almost came off as a money grab. And it's really sad to see like these great titles just go to waste.
They were cheap and undercooked, and that was a massive shame. Now, I'm not going to linger on how bad the original release of the Definitive Edition was. If you watch these videos, or if you like Grand Theft Auto, or you're online, you've probably heard this. So the real question and why you're here is, what does this update actually add? A lot. The biggest change, and the one that kind of made us run to the computer and start making this video, is the immediately noticeable return of classic lighting, in quotes. And that alone makes these games feel so much closer to the original. So for whatever reason, the remakes used to have this attempt at naturalistic lighting rather than the more stylized color and feel of the original games. It didn't work. It made the games look kind of flat and dull and just didn't really capture the distinct atmosphere and vibes, you know? The classic lighting...
They're not even really like showing the definitive edition. I'm pretty sure this is just the regular. But
here is so much better.
Also, I want to ask you guys, like, how do you feel about all these companies coming out with these remakes? Because that's a whole nother conversation. I don't know if I did a video of that, but I have a lot of opinions about it.
It actually makes these games look and feel like the originals now, for the most part. I'm mostly going to be using San Andreas as an example because that's the game that got it the worst in the remaster overall. That was where it was really the most notable. It's the one where the most stuff was also just cut and changed unnecessarily or just broken. This thing is like night and day now with the new lighting and atmospheric effects and all that. It just looks so much better. They also finally made it so like different regions have different lighting like they were supposed to. So San Fierro's lighting is different from Los Santos, which is different from Las Venturas. They also fixed the atmospheric effects and the weather too. You probably remember us complaining about how bad the rain looked in the original versions. They fixed that. I believe they fixed that a little while ago, but if you're jumping in for the first time here now, that stuff is all fine. The weather all looks good across the board for the most part. And what's cool with San Andreas is that each...
San Andreas was such a good game. If you know, you know. I've probably been playing it since the age I probably shouldn't have, but like it's a good like game. It's still one of the best GTA games in my opinion.
Region has its own weather again. You know, San Fierro has the heavy rain, the desert has sandstorm, so it's all really as it should be. Nighttime lighting is way better too. You can actually see at night, but it feels appropriately dark. You know, the game isn't blasting you with these eye-searing white lights and pitch black darkness anymore. It all looks, again, much closer to how the games used to look and just more balanced. Vice City actually has orange streetlights at night again, rather than just being white. So many little things like this are updated and improved that it's nearly impossible to list them all here, and people are still finding stuff out days later now. Now, why wasn't this in the original version? That's the big question. These are basic features from the base game, and it took them longer to add this stuff back in than it took the original San Andreas to be developed. Like, we're not kidding. Apparently they made San Andreas in something like 2 years.
And that's another thing that's like sad about today's games. Like, it takes so long, and it's like I understand why they do it because they're trying to make like each game bigger than the last, but it's like sometimes like the simple games are just as good, like stuff that came out like back then. I mean, I'm not saying we have to go back to like block graphics, but I don't know. I mean, I think they did it just fine in 2 years, and now we're going on like 10 years for GTA 6, or going past that now really, but it's just crazy how long it takes now.
Anyway, the draw distance and the fog issue is finally fully fixed too. So like on top of Mount Chiliad, you can't see the entire map with like the edges and all. That was how it was, and it looked so bad. Now the world is properly obscured in the appropriate amount of fog so that the world appears bigger than it actually is. That like kind of cloud layer that was supposed to be there has been re-implemented too. Another visual improvement is that they finally fixed the water. It has the effects it's supposed to and kind of has the correct transparency. Again, basics that should have been in the game from the beginning, but better late than never. It also seems like CJ's swim speed is back to where it's supposed to be too. Now, some people had a big problem with a lot of the character models when the definitive edition originally re-released. A lot of people didn't like the way Tommy looked. Look, you can clown on me. I'll go on record saying I liked...
Look at this guy. Why does he look like that? Yeah, interesting choice. Interesting choice. He looked like he has on blush. Sorry. He looks crazy.
The kind of creative choice.
And then wait, hold on.
On me,
This
I'll go on record
in the back here
saying I liked
looks like his face is mushed.
the kind of creative choices. They made them look cartoony but semi-real. Still, it seems like nobody was really happy with them, so they did tweak them. Tommy in particular just looks a lot more like how he should look for a lot of people, and that's the case for a lot of main characters and NPCs. It looks like a lot of them got overhauls, like a lot of them had been given another pass to make them, especially like the side characters, just look a lot better. Like Ryder doesn't have like...
Why do they look better, like blurry? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it, like, maybe they just shouldn't have touched the games. Maybe that's just the thing. Maybe we shouldn't do remakes.
Like those freakish elongated arms anymore when he's riding the bike. CJ actually animates properly when he's doing things like working out. There are animation improvements and fixes all over the place. All little things, but it all adds up. It doesn't seem like it's perfect, but it is a hell of a lot better.
I can't.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
Hey, Big Smoke! It's me, Carl! Chill!
CJ? Oh, my dog! What's up? Hey, baby, you okay, man?
Nah, man. It's my mom's, homie.
Hey, I don't know why this had to happen, but I promise you, I'm gonna find out who killed your moms. The streets is cold, dog. Like it says in the book, we are blessed and cursed.
And remember how, for some weird reason, the Definitive Edition removed a lot of like little animations and little details from the world? Well, a lot of that is fixed. The oil derricks are working again, the gas station signs are spinning. Most everything seems to be moving properly again, at least.
Why was this game like The Sims to me growing up? Just like driving around, pretending to get gas, going to the fast food lanes or restaurants.
From what we've seen so far, first impressions wise. They also fixed a lot of the road textures to be more detailed as they originally were, and a lot of the textures seem to have gotten a touch up. Not all of them though. A lot of world objects with like text on them are still garbled and unreadable because of AI upscaling. A lot of this stuff used to be readable in the old games, but now it's just kind of nonsense. Most of the signs are fine, I'll say a majority, but some of the smaller stuff like the signs on trucks are often messed up still. And one last thing, they finally fixed the aim while...
And I think these companies think that like we're not paying attention to this kind of stuff. But it's like that's what made the old San Andreas great. Is like the small details. Even just like him like going to restaurants and like gaining weight or being able to go to the gym and like get like buff. I think like that's the kind of stuff that we like to see. I'm surprised they didn't have that in GTA 5 or like something like that, because they had like so many details in GTA 5, and I don't know if like they do that kind of stuff just because of like the story, like they need to look a certain way for the story. I don't know, but they took away a lot of stuff. I liked how in the older GTAs you were able to actually go inside buildings and order food to get your strength up. Yeah, I was just saying that. Yeah, they take away small stuff like that, but I mean, they still have like Rockstar still does a lot that's like good in their new games, and I can't look at Rockstar without also looking at like Red Dead Redemption. So many details in that game. So many details in GTA 5.
Moving bug too, so that's one less annoying thing to worry about. All these little things sound small, sound like little nitpick things in isolation, but when you put them together, they really do affect the overall atmosphere of these games, man. The originals were colorful and had moody, weird lighting, and then the OG Definitive Editions, like on top of all the other problems, just had flat, sterile lighting that sucked all the life out of it all. You know, the flavor, the feeling of those original games, remakes, remasters, whatever you want to call them. There's something about color palette, lighting, and feel that often needs to translate over to kind of like trigger in your brain and remind you of the old thing. Originally, the Definitive Editions made these games look kind of boring. I kind of get the idea behind going for more naturalistic, realistic lighting to give the game more of like an HD look, or look like kind of like a fan remake in Unreal Engine 5. Like, it just did not work here. So I'm so happy they got the classic lighting. So these are all the major upgrades to the Definitive Edition. The games look better and are more accurate accurate to the original versions. They managed to squash most of the major bugs in the game at this point, and it seems, I'm pretty sure they patched up a majority of like those seams in the world and some of the collision issues. We haven't encountered them all, so still keep your eyes peeled, but things just do seem generally better. As far as the definitive edition goes, this is now at this point by far the best version of the remaster, like pretty significantly better. It's improved in all the ways that really matter. And hey, if you for whatever reason just do not like the classic lighting, then you actually have the ability to switch it off if you want. This definitive edition thing is not all perfect though. Some of the changes are kind of odd, like how certain cutscenes have been removed and replaced with in-game dialogue lines. It's usually for very small scenes and nothing major, and maybe this was meant to leave you in control during certain sections where cutscenes were deemed totally unnecessary, but it does stand out kind of awkward occasionally. And most disappointingly for me personally, the soundtracks are still kind of gutted, and it really sucks. San Andreas got it the worst, but Vice City is missing some tracks too. Look, we know music rights are expensive and licensing is a tricky thing. It's probably crazy expensive for some of these songs, but it just still sucks that they're missing the tracks. That's the short of it. 31 in total, and there are some real classics here. The loss of so many tracks is what still kills me, man. I wish they found some way to get these back in the game because the music is such an important part of the series' identity. I don't know.
To this day, not necessarily with San Andreas, although I'm sure I can think of some for San Andreas, but I still sing the songs from, what's it called? GTA Vice City Stories, because I would play that game all the time on my PSP. And I still sing the songs, like they still get stuck in my head. So like the music, like will take you back. I think, well, I know there's like some reasons why like music can't come back and stuff like that, but if there could be a way, I think they should find a way to do it. I still have the original versions that were put on PS4. Yeah, I don't know if I got it for PS4. I do have the original games over here. Well, yeah, I have San Andreas, Vice City, and GTA 3. I have those, and that's the reason like I buy them, because if you just buy like digital, they could pull it easily whenever they want. I always say like buy like physical copies if you can, because you never know when you're gonna be able to see it again, you know.
If Rockstar just doesn't want to pay up for the license fees, or if a lot of the artists just straight up don't want to be in the game or refused or whatever, but missing this many songs from the definitive edition hurts the overall package, like a lot. But that was the case then when this thing originally released and was more of a mess, and unfortunately it's still the case now. It's one of those things where if you're playing the games for the first time, you won't even notice, but if you know, then you know, and it sours the entire experience. So for people who already own the remaster, but put it away in disgust or frustration 3 years ago, now maybe it's the time to jump back in. This is the best it's been. But for the people still on the fence, well, these are mostly still just simple graphical updates, and these are still the same games as ever. We'd still argue that the definitive edition isn't quite like the remake, the treatment that these games should have gotten. It's still pretty bare bones, and it's expensive. The quality of life improvements are great. You know, I'm not denying that having a proper autosave and more modern aiming isn't good. It is good, it's very good. But like, it just all should have been better at the jump. I am so happy this thing is just in a much better state. I still think, you know, even with developer mistakes, a better game existing out in the universe is always better than a crappy game. So yeah, either way, however you feel about this, potentially probably pretty strongly, at least we still have the originals as well. But that's really it. That's a before you buy real quick. So you know how this goes. We give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinions. So
yeah, you guys will have to let me know what you think about that. I think the original is most likely always going to be better, but they did make a good point with the quality of life, like updates are better, like the way you shoot, like save. I do remember that being like way better, because if you do try and play the old versions of these games on like the PS4 or the PS5, it can be like annoying to like do simple stuff. So I will give them that, but if you play it on the original console, it's not that bad. But not everybody can go and get the original console, or not everyone has the original console. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it again soon, because I do have the game. I think I just have it digitally though. I know. And I only bought it digitally because I already have the original ones. But yeah, I don't know. But anyways, as far as this week, I think later this week I'll be doing an Indiana Jones game before you buy. So I'm excited for you guys all to see that. And let me know if you guys have any video ideas that you would want to see from me or any news that we could cover on the live streams. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good week and a happy Thanksgiving if you guys celebrate. And hopefully you find some good deals. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. AK out.